Hello and welcome. Expect to pay more for the prices of goods and services that attract VAT, that's VAT, and the 1% COVID-19 health recovery levy this week. The floor that you budget is expected to go up as well following the application of some levies actually on these products. We have details on these levies and how it will impact on your pocket in the following report.
Hike in prices is due to changes in the VAT rate and other levies that make up the total taxes that will be paid by the consumer. This means the final tax to be paid on each good by consumers will be 19.5%. That's if you add the VAT rate, National Health Insurance Levy, Get Fund Levy, and COVID-19 Health Sector Recovery Levy, while the effective flat rate is expected to be 4.03%. Now, VAT is a consumption tax, so anytime that a good is bought from the production chain to consumption, VAT will be paid. Applying these new levies on any commodity or service will result in prices going up. For instance, Joy Business checks with some hotels show that they will be reviewing their prices for their menus. Also, transport fares are expected to go up, looking at the rate of increase that have seen over the past 3 months. This will make it difficult for Transport Ministry to convince the various transport unions not to increase their fares this month. But looking at how the economy is structured, increasing fares could also complicate matters and lead to hikes in cost of production for businesses and individuals. On the back of COVID-19, some businesses are worried it could worsen their plight.
Well, thankfully, we're joined by Joy Editor, Business Editor, George Viafi, to help us understand what exactly this means to you watching us on this program. George, we're so grateful that you joined us. So, I mean, we've heard the report. For those of us sitting home watching the stories play out, how should we manage our budget to fit into these new introductions?
Well, Charles, let's first start even with fuel. That if every week you were buying about 100 Ghana cedis to fill your tank, with these adjustments, what it means is that your fuel budget is going to go up. So now you want to look at, can you cut other areas that you were spending more to take care of this? Because this is more of an inelastic product. You cannot do without it. You need this fuel to move from your house to work. So it means that maybe you have to look at cutting other expenditures. Maybe every week you're buying about a bucket of ice cream costing about 50 Ghana cedis. It means that with this, you may have to cut down your consumption of that ice cream and then turn it to this petroleum consumption as well. So it means that other areas that might not be seen as that critical, you may have to cut it, because what we understand right now, we are not seeing salaries going up anytime soon. The executive are saying that they have frozen their salaries. In the private sector, we are still yet to get a fair idea about when these salaries are going to go up. So it means that other areas that are not seen as that critical in terms of your expenditure, you may have to cut it to look at some of these critical things. When you also look in the food area as well, areas that might be attracting VAT, and then the NHIL, this thing, you're also going to look at a situation where you're going to pay more for it. So look at the non-essential expenditure. Those expenditure that, Charles, you can do away with it, that you won't die when you don't spend on it. If it's about going out every Friday, maybe you may have to cut down and look at some of these critical expenditures so that you can still manage the situation in these times, Charles.
Well, but coming down to the gravity of the matter, now that we've had fuel prices announce the increase, what's the state of the OMCs now? Are they going to comply?
No, Charles, what we understand is from the oil marketing companies, if you drove to a service station this morning, you realize that they are still working with the old prices. Interesting, this time they are not rushing to do the changes. What we are hearing from some of the oil marketing companies is that they have old stocks in that they want to clear. Also, these things have to do with some administrative workings, calibrating their machines and all those things. And it appears that coming from the weekend and through the holiday being today, they've not been able to finalize that. To the economists will say, all other things being equal, they are hoping that from tomorrow morning, they would actually make the changes of the pumps. And if you drive there, you might be paying at least about 50 pesos more per liter.
Great.
Some are also saying that they are monitoring competition, and therefore they may not even rush to change these prices and look at what the other competitors are doing as in how they are selling a price or a liter of fuel before they also change their prices.
So we shall be looking at the dynamics and see how things pan up.